welcome back to the Straight Heat channel. Today we have a special guest. We have Durag Dev sitting in with us today. We're trying to get this going for a minute. Finally got it popping, so we're just going to jump straight into the interview, man. But basically, I know who you are, but for the people who don't know who you are, can you just tell them a little bit about yourself?
Durag Dev. Man, messed around making some Gucci durags for fun. Ended up on tour with Ski Mask, Slump God X and Tashion. Ended up getting the name Durag Dev. From there, started some solo projects called Durag Dev, self-entitled, inspired from the tattoos, and that led into most recently doing customs for Billie Eilish on stage before eventually releasing these items publicly. And just got back from Korea working on new ventures, like planning out the next year and a half to the brand, and actually working on our first few shoe samples as well. So,
I know the brand and everything like that, but can you just tell the people who don't know the brand, like, where your inspiration for it came from?
okay.
I know you started with the Gucci do-rags, and
Right.
then from there you went to, of course, the print.
Right. So honestly, like you said, the do-rags was an interesting start just because they were an accidental project.
Yeah.
I'm chilling with the homies and if Gucci made do-rags, they make a lot of money. All right, well, how about we make some Gucci do-rags? And at that standpoint, it's okay, let's just do this for a month before Gucci sends a cease and desist. You're not gonna get away with this.
Yeah.
And it's next thing you know, you got Trouble Andrew, who ends up being Gucci's creative director at the time, and luckily is a cool ass cat. Next thing you know, he reaches out, hey, we're not gonna send you a cease and desist, but this Gucci does have so many hits, we're gonna have to put ads up on the site because you're coming up number one.
Yeah.
And so at that point, it's like, all right, cool, they're gonna let us rock with it. And so I think the do-rags were crazy in itself, and that's why the reason why it transcended into the name is just it was so accidental, but at the same time it was so much fun. And it was a good release for me. I think there was another project that I was taking more business, so to have something that was like a passion project, it was a fun release. Sometimes I feel like no matter what you're working on, you need those different other projects that are just fun releases, and like those forget it attitude ideas, like I'm just gonna make this, it's gonna be good, it's gonna be fun, and that's the only thing you're worried about. And so when you're doing that, you just really don't feel like you're working. And so I think that's what that energy in that was embraced, and that's why it was so genuine and authentic, is because when it was coming from a place of just pure fun, I think it was something that really resonated on with people. And so it was even Travis's old stylist, Kyle Lou, that was like, hey, you need to embrace this Gucci durag idea more. You need to let people know that this came from you. And so right around that timing was the timing of Ski Mask, Slump God Ski Mask coming out here to Vegas. And so basically at that point in time, I think I was like more so properly embracing, okay, this is something I made. It's something that's going to stay around. It's not going to leave in a second. It's going to stay around, and I need to showcase it some more. And so in that was around the timing of Travis Scott covering Paper Magazine, him starting to wear it on stages more and more, artists going online and purchasing it, Rich the Kid, Famous Dex. There were I'd find random photos, Lil Uzi Vert, Playboy Cardi I gave to him here actually, and next it's just popping up on artists left and right. And so eventually I remember I met Ski Mask Slump God. He's only got like 300,000 followers, 400,000 followers. I'm looking at him like, yo, this dude looks pretty dope. And so he was going online and buying them too.
Yeah.
And so when he met me, it was one of those things where you know, basically that's what he knew me for.
Yeah.
So then coming back into, you know, his whole crazy character and hey, you know, piping up water. You know what I mean?
All
his
the ad-libs and stuff.
Right, all his ad libs and he was messing around and Durag Dev like, and he was messing around like, and he would just keep saying Durag Dev, Durag Dev, Durag Dev, and then, you know, we go on tour and next thing you know, and X is Durag Dev. But once, you know, the two main leaders of the group are Durag Dev, next thing you know, everyone's saying Durag Dev. I'm like, oh my god! So I had to change my Instagram name to that at that point, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, and then I saw. I mean, I felt what was going on. To be honest, like, I was like, this boy X is gonna be huge. You know what I mean? And I'm not stupid. I know, like, yo, if all there had been a time where I low key had wanted to change my socials already, and it's interesting because I don't really think I've gotten into detail about this in a way. And it was the social media change of having Devin Luxois to Durag Dev, and I even have Luxois tatted on me right here in Japanese.
Yeah.
And I knew that for a while, like, the project, it was more so like a project that was my baby, and I didn't want to let it go. So, and I'll double back on this later because I think is an important topic. But it was a project I treated like my baby. I never really let it go. I never really let it become the business that it needed to be. And so therefore, it was time, you know, in doing the Durags, like I said, it was that good release.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing this project, and it's like, yo, we're doing this, and now we're doing this to make money, and it's moving, it's working. And so Lux Wide, I held back, but I had kept it as my social media name, but I really wasn't doing too much with it. And it was all in the spirit of that week before tour and going into tour and being on tour. I was like, yo, Durag Dev really has a catchiness to it. And so I made that decision quick, like, yo, I need to go ahead and change my social medias to the, you know, Durag Dev. And I could tell that, like, some friends were like, huh, what's going on? You know, everyone around me is like, Durag Dev, like, what's going on here? And they honestly, like, couldn't see I don't think they got the energy that was, like, manifesting behind the name. I just felt like with Ski calling me that, and his voices and his ad-libs, like you said, and they're so iconic in these things. And if he says, you know, actually at that point he was messing around when he had a song, and Durag Dev was in the chorus, and I was like, yo, excuse me, I was like, yo, if this, you know, ends up in the chorus, then I really need to already have my social media switched. And
yeah,
and it wasn't to use any kind of person or situation, and it didn't even end up in the song, so it's not like it, you know, that even mattered or was the focus. Was trying to do it like there was no clout chase behind it. It was just the energy and the momentum. I felt like life was taking me where all of a sudden everyone around me is calling me Durag Dev, and I'm with you know, in the situation, and I had been making the durags, and so it was like it was just perfect because honestly, so at this point on Instagram, I'm already embracing making the Gucci durag and the other durags.
Yeah.
And then now a name finally comes that sticks and catches. So it like, I love the triangle analogy because I always feel like you start your Instagram, you start your photo medias up, you're working on your clothing. Eventually, you know, you have these move photos, you're getting your thing going, and eventually they come to a point, and it's like the presence you built online comes to the point of you if you're first starting out making something. It comes then, you know, as you're growing and you're getting better and better at what you're doing, you're honing in on your craft, you're honing in on doing this over here, and it comes and it meets at a point, and then that's when it, like, releases and goes. And there's so many situations, there's so many other circumstances where it really is that same kind of process where it was like the durags were being worked on, and, like, more and more artists were wearing them, and then, like, on this side there was, like, now this new little nickname, and it goes, and then it's going in the song, and doesn't really go in the song, but then it still is catchy, and Ski's on tour and he's walking around screaming, and he's honestly, like, at the time I really was his newest best friend.
Yeah.
And so he would constantly be on tour, and he really would be looking for me. And you have X who's always looking for Ski. And at the time it really was just like me and Ski just got done hanging out for 5 days straight. So we had this new camaraderie that was like, you meet someone and you ever just met someone and you kick, all of a sudden you guys kick it tough and you're
just
like,
hit it off in the
you
vibe.
just hit it, and you're like, yo, yo, this is my new bro. We really kicking it, and we having fun kicking it. So it's like, this is who I'm just trying to be around, because we're laughing and just, every time you're hanging out, you're laughing, having good times, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not, and it's funny because some people could almost be, oh, that's this, that's, it's like, yo, that's like being able to have a genuine, true friendship like that. It's something that's like, you can't put that past certain people, because not even a lot of couples, guys and girls, get to experience a good, like, genuine friendship.
Mm-hmm.
You really looking out for someone and they have your back, and you guys are working together and you're working on stuff together.
Yeah.
He's working on music, I'm working on the clothes now, and this and that, and and so it was just good energy, good momentum, a good feeling, a good vibe, and like I say, just he was Durag Dev, and so next thing you know, Rob Banks and Craig Zen and Wi-Fi's Funeral and everyone else, they was, where's Durag Dev? Like, and so they just next, start calling me Durag Dev, and I'm like, wow, this is not gonna leave.
Yeah, it's not.
This is not gonna leave. This is not going anywhere.
It's just cemented.
This shit is cement, and so like, and I had changed my social media to that, and it's crazy. I even remember a couple of my business partners with the Durags, they were like, who is this new Durag Dev character? And I was like, yo, this, like, and they knew that, like, and they had sent me on the, yo, we're gonna send you out. You got the young energy. You're gonna go turn up with the artists. You can go and do all that turn up, and they vibe with you. So we gonna send you out, and they're older than me, and so they're like, we gonna send the young gun out to go and party, and so they're like, all right, well, this is the new thing being personified. They're like, whatever, is and at the time, I honestly, I was out and I was with the artist, so I was doing the PR work, so I was putting in my work and put the durag on so and so. And I remember first or second day on tour, X had posted it, just it being on someone else and this and that, and there were tons of people on stage wearing it. So like, it was at the same time, they couldn't be mad at me because I was killing the PR work for the rags at the same time.
Exactly.
And yeah, I was there to work on Revenge of VR, and I was there to work on VR with skiing, but it was before that there was some Revenge and VR stuff combined, so it was taken and split into two, and and there was times where, like, because this piece was taken, like, I would, me and Garrett would, be sitting down or whatever, and he would help me with something, I might help him with something, and it's like, me and him were there as the designer, so it was like, something I realized, like, X had tatted on him, so it was like, okay, this was like almost shared, it was a group thing, so I got to figure out how to, connect with these people and really analyze and vibe into what they were doing, so I could understand their audience. I remember going to the first show and just like hearing the music for the first time on stage, and then I'm honestly, it was Neek, who was at Stussy, the anti-social club, and he would teach me how to analyze how many people walking into the store, what's their ethnicity, how old are they, what are they buying, what are they wearing, what colors they doing, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
So I remember the first show going in, yo, let me see, all right, I need to go peep, I need to see who my target market is, my target audience is here. And that's how I was like, all right, so we got, all right, like these are the kids, da, 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 they're coming from here, they're wearing this, they're wearing a lot of these colors, wearing a lot of that, they're on these drugs, really seeing what they're on, like, okay, so I can understand what they're going to be into, so I need, taking the duality of, okay, what's the artist music like and the vibe like, and what's the audience that's receptive to it like, and combining, those two to really get assimilated into that whole new project that was immersing at the time. And so, but it was so interesting because it was that time there that out of that created that new name and that new energy, Durag Dev, and because then going back to LA, and now all these cats know me as Durag Dev, and oh, he made the Gucci Durag Dev. Oh, okay, well then X is coming and linking up with me on Melrose. Oh, he rose with X, and then all the fans, it was so easy for them to be able to tag Durag Dev and trace Durag Dev. I felt like because they were saying it so much on tour and on the road, and they were rocking with it and using it and this and that, and so that energy after just gave a lot of good, again, momentum into, okay, well now basically I have these past projects where it's like I did Luxwa and I did the Gucci Durags, and that's the essence of Durag Dev, and then doing this merch and all of that ultimately building up. Okay, well, I realized all of these different events and these different artists and these different projects ultimately created. It creates something where it's like, okay, as far as I know this.
Yeah.
And so when you pull that next project together, it really is a collection of who you are and all your other collections, in a sense, is the perfect word to use. So the collection of who I am as an artist ultimately gets to become the collection of all the collections of clothes that I've released.
Just basically putting it all together.
Putting it all together, right. So when it comes down to the manufacturing, it's like, okay, the manufacturing's at this new level. Well, the design's at this new level. Okay, well, I have an intern or two that's working with me and now, and there's the fulfillment process is like this, and we have a new factory, and there's all this new information, knowledge, and at first you still test waters, but eventually you get to new product levels, and you're able to have those connections a lot quicker, and I think that's what ultimately spearheaded this project to move a lot faster than previous projects, because it was like, okay, well, we know how to do this, we know how to do that, we know how important teamwork is, we know how important simplicity is, we know how important fun is, we know how important analyzing is, and so like I said, so I analyzed, okay, I'm down here on Fairfax, and this creates everything full circle, was with X would pop down to Fairfax, Melrose, sometimes we hang out, Then at the same time I was taking a lot of trips to Japan, and I was working with artists out there. Coming back to Fairfax, Japanese people were literally looking at their phones and looking at me, looking at their phones and looking at my tattoos, I realized. Looking at their phones, looking at tattoos, and I was like, oh my goodness, they recognize me for the tattoos.
Yeah.
That's what's standing out to them, is the tattoos. And so I was like, well, here we go. Here's the fun of another Gucci Durag-like product. And that turned into not only a product, but a project. And I won't forget, like, even someone who does video. I remember posting just the hoodie on the floor, and even someone who does video, I think it was Cole Bennett's, like, just replied to the story and was like, you got something with this one. And a few of those confirmations, like, yo, this is something right here, when it was actually taken from first seeing the picture of the silk screen post with the print, and then seeing that physical hoodie, it was like, oh yeah, this worked out smooth. Yeah. And I was like, okay, there's really good energy behind it. It's really authentic. It's tatted on me. It's as genuine as it gets. It's as fun as it gets again, because now I'm back doing something that is just like, I'm making this from me for the fans, for the people that are just gonna rock with me. So I really wanted to see. I didn't even want any influencers. I wanted to see how many people and fans in Japan were going to buy this solely off of the strength of supporting.
Yeah.
And at that point, because I had already recognized, okay, when I did the very rare times 24 karat pop up in Japan, I'd already done a Rags Worldwide pop up, and I was like, wow. And they came out, and they were still having me sign stuff and phones and this and that. I was like, they don't even care what it is that I make. They just want me to make something.
Yeah. They
just want to come and buy something that I made. They just want to support, because like whether they like the items or whether they've grown to like who they see or whatever, this character, whatever, they like it, and that's what if that's what drew them in, that's what drew them in. But nonetheless, they've been drawn in for this, and so now at this point we get to go back to having fun and making something that is by me, and for you, and and it was just such a like a genuine fun energy going into it again, and I've tried to keep that same, and so now the focus is keeping that energy.
Yeah. So with that, I mean, you've talked about in the beginning how you didn't want that celebrity influence on your brand and things like that. But like, who are some like celebrities other than, of course, like Billie Eilish who like rock shit stuff all the time, but who is like one of those people who like really surprised you in the fact that they were like rocking with your brand?
Well, to be honest, no, the interesting thing is that no one has, because I have not ceded directly to any other artists. So if anything, this is the more so an exciting moment to be like, all right, now that I finally got the packaging and the presentation, and I finally have um, the fabric and the stitching where I want it to be, and the printing done how I want it to be, and the double layered hang tag, and the wash instructions tag with the branding on it, and I have the the script. I have a classic logo. I have a script font. I have a classic logo. I have an emblem.
Mm-hmm.
I have a character. There's the face.
Yeah.
And then there's the print 5, and I have these 5 pillar pieces now. And then taking all that together, and then finally having this factory that can deliver up to the standards of how I wanted to produce this whole time. Now I'm gonna work on a list of artists 6x6. So this first list is, of course, Billy has to get the new quality, and then OGZ, Made in Tokyo, Guap Dad 4000, Smoke Perp. I guess I did. Just Vic just was in something. Damn. So actually, I guess there was just a couple people in some stuff, and those were. I feel like coming back. It was that career momentum. I almost didn't. This is what I'm saying. So this is the starting. That just happened over the last week or two. It was so fresh in my mind, I almost forgot.
Yeah.
Low key in a way. So like but those are. So these new people are you know what? I can like better answer your question, to be honest, because I'm realizing right now. It is amazing because before I even technically decided to begin seeding, as soon as I thought about it, it's already started naturally.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where, as I'm there, like Vic's, I realized like Vic's package had to go out early. He got it wore to RSVP gallery. Then I look, and then Don C followed me. He told me, "Oh, you need to have this in the store." And so I was like, "Damn, that was some good energy." I had just gotten back into town, and Alex hit me. "Oh, I want to shoot your car." Now she actually wants to work on something. And so even just at the beginning, because don't get me wrong, when I say, "Hey, I'm not gonna," these people they sent me their addresses a while ago, and they're waiting on me. What I'm trying to do is build a certain pride behind the brand and bring a certain quality before I deliver. But there's such thing as waiting too long, and not where you just don't deliver and you really waited too long. And so there's really like this middle gap you're trying to find of, okay, how do I make them wait short and like long enough to feel special, but not too long that they feel disrespected.
Yeah.
And there's a small window right there where it's like, damn, I couldn't get this. Now I can get this. Yo, I'm in the club now. I got it. I'm able to rock it. And the brand is where it needs to be. The quality's there. And then versus being just to that length of time where it's like, oh, damn, bro, he didn't send this package for months. He wasn't. And so, but I think what's important is to show, okay, it has gone on a person to now. So, I think things have to boom right now. In these lists of 6 that I picked, I think it's gonna be real fun, because there's already a couple lists that I've made, and I try to make each one diverse.
Yeah.
So I try to have, some like there's like, okay, your Billy, and then like you have your OGZ that's a complete demographic, and then you have your Made in Tokyo that's kind of another demographic because it's a little more fresh and international, and
Mm-hmm.
OG's a little more LA and coastal, and Billy's a lot more radio and but still fresh in her own way, and very with a stand like following. And so And then in the second batch, like I might throw a Travis Barker in there who's reached out.
Yeah.
You know, so these but then a Playboy Cardi who's still fresh and comes back, and so there's a couple lists that I put together, and I think I'm like really low key actually kind of finding some fun in some like, all right, who am I going to work with in these in these lists that I pick, and I want it to feel that special actually. When these packages go out, I want the artist to feel like, hey, I got on a small list to get this seated, and this is only picked certain people. It's almost like being on a double XL freshman cover of clothes.
Yeah.
And so I think in that, there's gonna be also this Korea trip. The purpose of me getting back from Korea for a month was, all right, the rest of the year's been designed out. The first samples I've already received. The second release of samples is being worked on. They're almost done. I've designed out from this year, fall and winter 2021, spring and summer 21, and working on next year, fall and winter 21, 22. So in being in Korea and working on collections so advanced, it really gives the correct time to properly plan out, okay, now that everything is made like this and we're so far scheduled, okay, we can really plan out when the influencers get it and them in it early and them doing a photo shoot or something in it early and showcasing. It just came back to me when my friends got me a pair of Jordans that didn't come out until today. Last week, just that week of me having it before it came out, like I was feeling extra fresh in them. You know what I mean? And that's a really good feeling.
That feeling of getting stuff early before anybody else has it.
No one else has it, or there's a few people with it, and I'm walking through the hotel and I see the dudes with J's. They staring at and that's something I haven't even used in a while, but broke their neck because got some Jordans that ain't even out yet. I was like, oh damn, I forgot I am breaking necks again. And it was just, oh man, it was a lot of fun in that. So I think to bring that into the clothes and give artists that specialty and for them to realize, okay, this gets picked 6 people at a time and it's going to rock like that. Like, it's just going to be like an amazing feeling.
Yeah, and then you say like you have your trips to Korea and Japan, and I know you speak fluent Japanese, right?
Yeah.
So like how has, that influenced your brand as a whole? Like,
in direct influence, it's influenced sales demographics heavily because the time spent out there, the time spent on learning. When you take the time to learn someone's language and their culture, I feel like that and alone they respect you.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows, I might, work on Korea next just because I'm seeing, okay, Japan has shown me this much love. Am I going to start being out in Korea? I am going to start being out in Korea more. And so because of that, we'll get to should I hone in and focus on Korean so that I can get the same respect from Japan? Because from speaking Japanese and being in that market, there's been stores, sales, online sales, probably a good 30-40% are Japan alone.
Mm-hmm.
Just because speaking Japanese, had me out there physically, well, that has the people I'm around, well, that creates a whole nother surplus of market. So instead of just having your audience from Vegas and LA and Texas and New York and whatever, well, you just now went somewhere else and you just grabbed a whole nother how many percentage of people.
Right.
And so it's just another tool. It's just another, I don't even want to say tool, like an asset almost in a way, because you marketed yourself in a whole nother place. It was almost like doubling or tripling your chances. It's like how Wu-Tang first went to UK and they blew up in UK before they blew up over here. It's like how Queen's from the UK and they blew up over here before they blew up over there.
Yeah.
And it's that reverse psychology, because I'll tell you, stores were not messing with me out here at first. Now, the stores out here and in different cities and whatever, now they're gonna have Durag Dev, and it was like, don't get me wrong, there were some stores here that did want the brand, yes, but now those bigger stores that before wouldn't have taken a first look at me, Now they're looking at the brand.
Because of the influence.
Because it was only put on Billie Eilish here, and it was only in Japan or these stores overseas, and it was in these top tier stores overseas. Oh, if those stores overseas have it, well, then I need it too then.
Exactly.
Right. But it was like, damn, like, I was the same artist, I was the same this, I was the same that, but, you know, sometimes, like, you got to hit them with that reverse psychology.
I feel it. And then also, like, I don't know, so with, I mean, the marks, do people, like, actually know, like, where the marks came from or no?
That, you know, that's the thing. Sometimes people do, sometimes people don't. And so you got to look at it in this way. Bape is a bathing ape is because Nigo's favorite movie is Planet of the Apes. So he made the brand when we were babies, maybe not even born yet. So we didn't realize that this came from a big influence. So you got to look. These kids Naruto wasn't out yet.
No.
So they don't even know what that is. They don't even know what those anime, right? So pulling the inspiration from something in animation is no different than Nigo pulling inspiration from Planet of the Apes that was out. When did the first Planet of the Apes come out? The 80s?
I think so.
Right. So it came out in the 80s, and that was his favorite movie, and he's pulling the thing. So it's funny to see. They might not know where inspiration comes from at this point. Now, of course, we make sure that we want to tweak it. So the final product, you know, there's the face here that's added. There's the eyes that are added for the D and the D. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the Durag Dev. There's the this, there's the that. So that copy, combine, transform into a whole new product is essential at the same time. But it's just, to be honest, in my mind, like, a lot of people, I feel like, and I love when they do this, when they're able to recognize, because then they actually have a greater appreciation for it. Because they're like, yo, that's amazing. That's, you went that old school, or you really inspired from a place that's so understandable. And even within, you know, you're pulling from a place of emotion, because the print, there was emotion and there was chakra and there was power behind it.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's like, yo, you're pulling from a place of emotion, because it was like your drive and determination and motivation. So if you watched and you understood the print, and don't get me wrong, there's been a couple people that have been like, oh, this is just from that. It's like, okay, well, I could tell you didn't really watch this or really like it because you understood, like, there was emotions. You were like, if you weren't damn near teary-eyed the same way when watching the Jordan documentary, then you didn't feel something watching that. You missed the whole point.
Yeah.
You need to go rewatch that. Because just about everybody and their mama got teary-eyed watching the Jordan documentary. In the same way, like, anime had you piped up. You were booted up.
Yeah.
You were piped up. Like, yo, I'm going to get through this. I am going to make it. I'm going to keep pushing through my struggles. I'm going to keep sacrificing things. I'm going to keep going through these hardships because I am going to make it. That akiramenai. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up no kanji. That feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That was the vibe and the energy. And so there was, I think when I was first messing around with tattoos and things like that, that's how I was feeling. It was during a time of my life where I really did not want to give up, and it might have been a dark place, it might have been at this place, but it was that battle. And so it was pulling the nostalgia from that battle. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. From those battles in our life to really, like, ultimately push through those battles and be something greater, give something greater. It might sound materialistic, like, because sometimes it can be translated as you're obtaining chakra or power, but I say it's more so, chakra is more so energy thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's more so like therefore mastering your chakras is mastering who you are as a person, as a whole being. Therefore, you know, you're just on your path to be a better person, the best person you can be.
Right. And
that was something that had just always resonated with me very galactically.
And then, I mean, anywhere you go, like, people know, like, it's you. And that's mainly because of that BMW i8 that you got wrapped. Yeah. Crazy.
It is, and I forget it sometimes. And I think that what happened is when I first got it done, I did it at the show, and then I had stayed inside and quarantine happened, so I didn't drive it for a couple months. Then I started driving it, and people were like, "Yo, just in here," and it was happening every day. I was like, "Oh my god, I forgot." This is a bright orange, and this is
a bright orange.
You know what I mean? And it's matte still. Marks, right. With curse marks on it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So bright, and so there's some people that, oh my goodness, you have the curse marks. I'm like, yeah, it's basically the curse marks switched up a little bit. Here's this and here's that. Here's the 3D layer we did to it and whoop-de-whoop. But they're seeing it, and then there's just literally people that will DM me because they're like, yo, I just saw you driving. And it's matte orange. It was actually me and Christian had toned it down a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so, because it was we were just looking at the color books, and I do got to shout out Christian because we worked on that together, and he helped make it. I didn't know I could do the 3D at first, and you can have the print layer, and then this, and then another, you know what I mean? And so doing that multiple layer, it creates that 3D, and I think that's something I would love to see in a psychedelic state, just because it would look crazy. It looks crazy already just to the naked eye to see, and then you realize, oh wait, there's a 3D that's there. Yeah. There's a texture to the print, and so it's almost like adding to the appeal of it. It really pulls on the appeals of the car because the car is 3D and it's shaped 3D for a reason. That area in the IH, you can stick your hand through this print that has these random swoops and swooshes and it's popping in and popping out, and all that is a lot of design fun and it's a lot of loop-de-loops and just fun stuff. It's just fun. It's fun, and so it makes me want to go design a car.
Because I know when you went to Korea, they wrapped another IA out there. But it was actually the print that's on the shorts.
Yeah. So I don't know what side is most visible from, but so the shorts basically was, I think the print that's on the shorts honestly is what I would say is the direction of fall and winter. And so coming into fall, it was okay, let's make things a little bit tonal. Mm-hmm. The bright colors have been essential from the beginning, but let's make some stuff that is a little more easily wearable with other things per se. And honestly, just how I was feeling, I could say and agree to it, I didn't feel like being so loud all the time. So I wanted to make some stuff that was just a little more chill and laid back, and that was through the colors. And so this collaboration collection, was toned down through the colors, and then you're gonna see some more tone. You're gonna see the brand still being, I feel authentic to the brand and that's some vault accents here in the fall and winter collection. It's gonna be featured in the first release. It's gonna be featured in a couple pieces on the second release, but these toned down colors are really gonna come into play in some nice, I feel elegantly simple pieces, and that'll also be amped up due to the quality of the manufacturing. But and so Korea connects with that because Korea is the start of this new tier 4 quality. So now we're at tier 4 quality where I'm telling you, these crew necks are as thick as easy in the palm. The pants are better quality than Palm Angels. And the reason why, honestly, I feel maybe some other designers might be mad at me that I'm sitting in these stores with over in Japan, and that's because this quality is not the same level of quality as them. And instead of being $1,000 for a Palm Angels set, it's $300, and the quality's better.
Yeah.
And it's on Billie Eilish, and now it's going to be on a lot more people.
Facts.
So what's going to be the difference or if you honestly just like anime already, and you can have this design and this and it's better, and you understand the culture and the like for it, and it's better quality than these other brands, and you can get it it's a win-win. Yeah. And so the thing is, I don't feel 4 years ago, people selling and Kanye selling $200 Gildan merch was cool. That's not cool no more. If you spend $200 on something, you want your whole $200 and more for something now. Yeah. You know what I mean? I feel right now people are hyper focused because of quarantine, if anything, of what they're spending their money on and how much they're getting for it. So when you spend your money on something, you're getting the full quality out, and that hasn't been going in design wise the last years. We've been doing a bad job at giving cheap quality and for a hype design, and I think like it's time to take that and flip that back where now you're giving amazing quality,
right,
and amazing design, an original design but you're giving this amazing quality and you're giving people more for their dollar than what they've been getting, to the point where they felt like they were being scammed before, because I could have been getting this quality this whole time, and for this price, I was like, look how much I was being gouged, and so like, shoot, I don't know, maybe Heron Preston, Jerry Lorenzo, Virgil, Matthew, they might get mad at some of these pieces to start to come out because the quality's gonna be there. Like this is. I mean, even if Barry continued, like low key, people in Asia, they overseas, they said, yo, I got this V loan, I was not happy with the quality of this. People are looking at the quality right now, and that's the thing that I'm gonna sit here and talk about all day, and I'm gonna look for it, and I'm gonna chase, and that's the quality reviews. And because honestly, I didn't say anything at first, I just increased the quality and I waited. And then people bought this stuff, they said, oh my goodness, this new quality is ridiculous. And it's the same price? And that's why it's the same price? It's the same price? Because they're like, it makes no sense. Because usually if you go up from a tier 1 to a tier 4, you're going to go from charging $140 hoodie to $450 hoodie.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if I came out with a crew neck like this, or the fabric like this, or the track pants the way the track pants are, I could have came out and sold those for $450, and you could have felt the material, and you'd be like, well, they are that same quality there. That's the quality they're at.
Yeah.
And so, but the thing is, all right, well, yeah, they're not $40 or $50, but they're also not $400 or $500. And that price range, that price point is what's gonna make, I feel like, everything like ultimately be undeniable. Be undeniable to people.
So I mean, last thing, just telling people like what's next for the brand. I mean, for you, you might be coming out with the shoes soon. I know you said you got the collections lined up until
Fall and winter 21-22.
Yeah, so I mean, just like letting people know what's next for you.
I think coming very boldly. What I'll tell you that I'm working on specifically for next year is getting into denims, cashmeres, and leathers.
Okay.
So denims, knits, and leathers, because those are ultimately the pinnacle of quality to a high-end brand. That's what makes. When you have denim, when you have knitwear, cashmere, when you have leather, that signifies you as having those luxurious things that really throw a brand to reach. Really what it does is, those are the most expensive fabrics, and so you're going to see is the most expensive items from your brand come out from those fabrics. Mm-hmm. So I want to see how expensive, how cheap I can put an expensive 4-item out, so I can give a ultimate top tier. My goal is to reach an ultimate top tier where this is the leather, this is the knit, this is the denim, this is our top tier quality. It doesn't get much better than this. So then from there, everything can be worked backwards, and other pieces can come out, and you can just see honestly like a general quality versus dollar level that makes sense again in fashion. Yeah. And we've been missing that, and it's time to bring that back. And so to bring some denims, knits, and leather, in some amazing pieces, will ultimately, I feel like, just put the tie on the knot to show people, okay, this company's doing it. They're giving us the high end. They're almost making these other companies look stupid because they're showing us that they could have this quality and be at this price. And they might be upset. But the thing is I plan to kill it. That's all.
That's all you got to do, man. Just set your mind to it and just kill it.
Yeah. So I think honestly, my leaving word, mood, motto, whatever, would ultimately be making everything so nice, that it's just undeniable. And I think just being undeniable is that mood right now. And just coming with something that's so strong, so on point, the quality's so there, and it's so worth what it is, that it brings that happiness when, how happy we get when we see the old quality and the older Jordans, and we see the good quality in these pieces, or these releases come out and they decide to all of a sudden add some quality.
Yeah.
And I think if a brand focused and then hyper focused on being not just a brand of good design and hype design and good marketing and hype marketing, but also being a brand of integrity and bringing equality.
I feel that.
Right.
So, I mean, that's it for this show today.
We ended off real spiritual there. We honestly did, because integrity is just the kind of person that I'm about. And we got real spiritual at the end.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to go ahead and check out Durag Dev's brand, I'm going to have all his information in the link below. Instagram to the store website, everything like that, be in the description below. But that's it. So just make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, just make sure you comment below. I'll be sure to get those answers for you. And then that's going to be it for today's show, all right? Talk to y'all later.
Straight slack.